NFL World descends on Provo, Utah this morning to watch Zach Wilson's pro day workout. According to most draft experts, the BYU quarterback has a great chance to be the number 1 overall pick or number 2 overall pick. But it's funny when you hear about his rise, right now it seems like it's a no-brainer. Keep in mind, this is a quarterback who threw 11 touchdowns and 9 interceptions the season before. So he wasn't even guaranteed the starting spot coming into this season. He was great in 2020. Still, the one-year wonders have mixed results, and scouts will tell you that. It's really hard to assess 1 year. Joe Burrow and Kyler Murray went number 1 overall with 1 good season, and both look promising. But on the other hand, you have Mitchell Trubisky and Dwayne Haskins, who didn't work out. And we're still a little over a month out on the NFL draft. And maybe another quarterback will make a move up, take Wilson's spot in a mock draft. We tend to move these guys around like they're chess pieces. But for now, Wilson is the guy. I doubt that's going to change after he works out in shorts today. We, of course, will keep an eye on his stats. Nobody gives you pro day stats quite like the Dan Patrick Show does. And I think a lot of things can happen leading up to the draft and even during the draft. As I've talked about ad nauseum, there are teams that are lurking to move up. And this is what you have to understand. If you don't get your quarterback this year, you're not getting your quarterback next year. This is quite a talent pool that you have. And in the previous year was quite a talented quarterback pool. And by most observations, next year's quarterback lot is not great. If you're going to get your quarterback, you're going to have to go get him this year. Therefore, the strategy is a little bit different for these teams. You're not just sitting and waiting. You're going to have teams that are going to make moves to try to get up as high as possible because there are no guarantees. We know Trevor Lawrence is going 1. I'm going to assume Zach Wilson will go number 2. I feel like Carolina, Atlanta, maybe Denver, somebody's going up there. Justin Fields, Trey Lance. You still have Mac Jones in the mix as well. That's what's going to happen here on draft night. You're going to have some teams that are going to try to maneuver to get up there. And you're going to have 1 or 2 teams, maybe they don't get to make that move, but we'll find out after the fact that there are going to be teams that are going to go up and try to get their quarterback. I don't know who that is. Somebody had mentioned San Francisco. Somebody had mentioned Denver moving up. Here's one for you. Seattle Seahawks. John Schneider was in Green Bay when Green Bay took Aaron Rodgers when they still had Brett Favre. At the time, they weren't sure what Brett was going to do, so I understand that. But I just wonder if you're Seattle, and Seattle was interested in Josh Allen, Seattle was interested in Patrick Mahomes from what I'm told. It feels like everything is not back to normal with Seattle with Russell Wilson, but it feels like everybody is playing nice. They've gone to their neutral corners here. I just don't know what Pete Carroll is willing to do. Do I think they have a GM who would trade Russell Wilson and John Schneider? I do. But Pete Carroll is the one who's running the show here. And Pete's not a young guy. And I don't think at this stage of his career that he wants to entrust his team with a young quarterback. But I just put that out there from the standpoint of John Schneider's history. I haven't heard Seattle come out and say, we're absolutely not trading him. Remember what Mark Cuban did with Kristaps Porzingis? There was talk that he was going to be traded. There were rumors that he was going to be traded. Cuban came out and said, let me be the first to say, this is not happening. He's not being traded. And he wasn't traded. I haven't heard anybody from Seattle's side of things that just says, are you kidding me? This is the franchise Hall of Famer. He is Mr. Seattle. We're not trading him. We still haven't heard that. Russ has said he still wants to stay there, but if you want to trade me, here's where I'd be willing to go. Haven't heard anything from Seattle. Why not? That's why I just throw out the hypothetical for the time being. Would they move up? Or is everything back to normal and Russ is going to be there at least 1 more year? You can't get your quarterback next year. That would mean you'd have to wait another year if you're Seattle. something to factor in. Yeah, Paul.
And Seahawks, I think, did they trade their first round to the Jets? Did the Jets have their pick?
That's the Jamal Adams 2 first-round picks.
So that hampers that even that as a policy, as a philosophy.
I know. I know. Yes, McLovin.
That means they have to trade Russell Wilson to get in that. There's no drafting a top 5 guy without, to the Jets.
Yeah.
Or the Dolphins.
Well, they wanted to do that. They want to get those 2 first-round picks back because they gave up 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams. But Russell Wilson is the one who he has the leverage. He can say, I don't want to go to the Jets. And they are doing some things. The offensive line is, I guess better. Chris Carson is back. I like him. He's just never healthy. Carlos Dunlap, they're bringing him back. Okay. To me, it just feels like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back for Seattle. Like they don't feel any more threatening. But I don't know what Pete Carroll's philosophy is on all of this. But Pete is running the show there. Yeah, McLeod.
General philosophical question. So quarterbacks, say there were 4 in the top 6. That doesn't mean they're 4 of the best 6 players. It feels like teams are just really securing that spot.
Yes. Yeah. No, as I said to you yesterday, I had a source who said, aside from Trevor Lawrence, the most certain thing in the draft is Patrick Surtain, the defensive back at Alabama. And then after that, it's Penei Sewell, the offensive lineman at Oregon. This is somebody who is looking at these players, breaking down their tapes, and said those are the 2 can't miss aside from Trevor Lawrence. But nobody does that. You don't go, hey, we're going to take a defensive back here, or we're going to take you might take an offensive lineman in the top 5, and probably that'll happen, but you're looking for your quarterback. It's supply and demand. If you don't go up and get them, they're not going to be waiting for you. Yeah, Paulie.
And like you said, there's not a class of quarterbacks, at least as of right now, for 2022, but there will still be quarterbacks drafted in the top 15. It doesn't matter what if Sam Howell of North Carolina, or is it Slovis from USC? Yeah. Those guys will still, by default, have to go in the top 15.
Yes, but how good are they? I mean, that's really the key, because we look at Trey Lance, really a one-year wonder, and that was quite a year. Justin Fields, you have a little bit more to go on there. Mac Jones, one-year wonder. I have no idea. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, a larger sample size there, and by all accounts is destined for greatness. Yeah, McLovin.
Yeah, Zach Wilson, definitely a one-year wonder.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yes. And that's what would make me nervous drafting one of these quarterbacks. I got 1 year. I just don't know. And I want to see how you handle adversity. I want to see those things. That's why when I look at Tua, he already showed me a lot by coming back after what he came back from. Now I just want to see if he is a legitimate franchise quarterback. I just don't think he has the arm. Is he going to have that playmaking ability, that mobility? I don't know that. I wasn't all in on Tua because I don't know how to judge an Alabama quarterback. And I joke with Mac Jones, or at least he thought I was joking, but I was being serious. I truly think I could have thrown 10 touchdown passes in the Alabama offense. I'm watching the highlights, and I got nobody rushing me, and I got wide receivers who are wide open. Like the wide part of a wide receiver is you're wide open at Alabama. Like, just get the ball, wait like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and I'm going to throw the ball to Devontae Smith. Where's the defense? Well, he's not there. But Mac Jones is athletic, deceptively athletic. But I don't know. But that's what these teams, and in this COVID era, you can't really be there and be around them. And just that too, adding more to the mystery here. Yeah, Paulie.
I'll tell you, I've been listening to a lot of people cover Zach Wilson of BYU the past 3 weeks. I think people are this close. Some analysts are this close to saying they like him more than they like Trevor Lawrence, and I think they're scared to do it. I was listening.
Well, Chris Sims did that.
Yeah, and he was comfortable saying it. But Dan Orlovsky was gushing about Zach Wilson. Dan Orlovsky of ESPN, to the point where I bet if you asked him off the air, he'd say he likes him better. But it's a tough road to go down.
Yeah, Seton.
It kind of feels like it's Zach Wilson's turn.
This week.
This week is, because like 2 weeks ago, it was.
Yeah, Justin Fields is going to make a comeback here, guys. Just letting you know, prepare for that because he got kicked to the curb a little bit, and now he's making a comeback. Mac Jones had his day. Zach Wilson has his day. Trey Lance is still sort of there, but I feel like he's the sneaky one, that there are teams that really love Trey Lance because I don't have to play him for the first 2 years. But Trey Lance is the one I think is even more intriguing of all these quarterbacks here. Yeah, McClub.
I think people are going to move Zach Wilson off number 2 because when does a guy ever say at number 2 for the entire mock draft? The thing that's coming up with the Ohio State Justin Fields, he says he's going to run a 4.340. I don't know if that's true, but imagine if he does. I don't know what it means, a quarterback running a 40, but he tweeted that the other day, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, he's the next Lamar Jackson."
If he runs a 4.340. I'm going to guess people are going to be, going gaga over this.
But is that important for a quarterback?
No. I mean, it's nice that my quarterback is really fast. Can he throw the football? Like, that's where I start. Can you throw guys open? How are you, commanding an offense, processing in real time? Are you a leader? What happens when you throw an interception? Like, those are the things that I want to know. Do you love football? Not, man, that guy's fast. It's just, I bring this up because it happened to me so many times. You'd go play a pickup game of basketball, and there'd be a guy who would be jumping out of the gym. And I'd be like, oh, my God, this guy's going to dominate. And then you start to play, and you realize all he can do is jump out of the gym. And then you fake him up, and then he would go up, and then you'd go, I'll make the layup. And I went, oh, my God, this guy can't play. But he looked unbelievable in warm-ups. Yes, he.
Maybe you could spin it into saying that Mac Jones was throwing those guys so wide open. That's how they got so open, because he was throwing them open.
No. I saw the defenses. No. I saw the defenses where, I didn't see the defenses in the highlights. It'd be like Devontae Smith is, and I'd be like, wow, he's wide open.
Yeah, see, I threw him that wide open.
Yeah, yes, McLeod.
But that makes me wonder about Devontae Smith because I don't know if that was scheme or Devontae Smith is just way faster than everybody.
Oh, he's got that extra gear.
Right, but so was Waddle and Mechie. They were wide open too.
But Devontae Smith has that extra gear where he turns the corner, and I saw this against Notre Dame. He turned the corner, and you got the angle, and he just has something a little bit extra there.
Doesn't Waddle have that too, to some degree?
I guess, but we didn't see him last year.
Yeah, that hurt.
But that's what I still liken him to Anthony Carter. If you're familiar with the former Michigan wide receiver, he was all legs, but he was slight, but he was fearless, and he was great. And that's what I see with Devontae Smith. I don't know if I want my number one receiver who's that slight. Normally we put you in the slot, but hey, if you're great, you're great, and you're going to take advantage of him. Yeah, Paulie.
I was just looking up Trey Lance's bio.
Yeah.
I assume Trey he's the third, like he's Richard Lance, and it's the third. It's just Trey. His dad is not. He's not the third of anything. He's just Trey Lance. That's his full name.